Hey everyone, and happy Thursday, and welcome to Virtual Vegfest Live. We are sponsored by the Plant Based Network, and this month our newest sponsor is Cinnaholic, and you can win some really cool prizes from our sponsors. All you have to do is go to virtualvegfest.com and click the contest tab. And you get to do things like subscribe to our Virtual VegFest YouTube, which we give you 25 entries for if you do that. And share it, subscribe, or like to our social media. Simple as that. And you can win a prize back from Follow Your Heart, Hodo Foods, Orgain, Crafters Organics, Shroom Meats, and Cinnaholic. What a great thing to do. Thank you to them for sponsoring and supporting Virtual VegFest and Virtual VegFest Live. We love our sponsors. So if you can go show them some love and like their pages and their social media as well. So just so you know, Fab the Vegan is here with us today, and it's going to be lively and it's going to be fun. And we're going to talk about his journey and how he's gotten to where he is now in his business. Anything and everything is on the table, and that's what he said. So if you have any questions or comments, to put them in the little box, and we'll definitely address them. Hey, Linda. Nice to see you. Glad that you're here. And let's go grab Fab. Oh, that rhymed.
Crap, Fab.
I was like, oh, I'm doing a rhyme. I don't even mean
And you did well.
to. Well,
Awesome.
welcome to Virtual Veg Fest Live. I'm really glad that you're here and that I kind of found you. I'm pretty sure it's through Ron and the Plant Based Network. And somehow,
Or
somewhere in there,
somewhere,
I
the
was like,
magic of social media.
exactly. So I would love for
Yes.
you to share with everyone not who are, because you're one person. Who is Fab the Vegan?
Fab the Vegan. Fab the Vegan was a guy who was obese for over 25 years. Of course, eating the standard American diet and also land cuisines. And I gained well over 300 pounds. I don't know if you guys can see, but that was, let me see, which way?
You're a
No, the
mirror.
other way.
The other
The wrong
way.
way. Am I going the wrong way? No, I'm going. And there we go. So it's this guy right there. You see?
Yep.
So I was well over 300 pounds. I think my max was like 310. And then in 19, no, in 2007, I was diagnosed diabetic, of course, and started taking medicines, everything. It just kept getting bad to worse. My weight started fluctuating because when your body's sick, it gains, it loses, it gains, it loses. That's not natural. And at 50 years old in 2013, I'm 58, by the way, in 2013, I had enough. And I went to the doctors, I got some blood work, and the doctor told me my blood work is horrible. It's the diabetes, and we're going to raise your milligrams. And if that doesn't work, we're going to put you a pump for things like that. But I was real bad, and then actually asked the doctor, I said, "Excuse me, is there anything I can do? Because I don't feel good." I told him. She goes, "No, you're gonna be diabetic all your life. Just make sure you take your medicine. Diabetes type 2, and you should have good days." I was like, "Wow, okay." I'm over here, 50 years old. I have built a business, and I was about to lose it because of my health. And I was like, "There's got to be another answer." I don't know. So of course, I went to the big monitor computer we had back then in 2013. And I went into YouTube and Google, and I just started. I typed in how to control diabetes type 2 because I figured if I could control it, I could feel better. You know, I didn't know anything about nutrition. I had no clue about nothing, anything. So I typed in, and as I typed in that, of course, you start getting a lot of pages, and then the animal factor came in. Then back then wasn't plant based; it was called just vegan, the vegan diet. And so I started looking into. I started looking into the videos. So I'm over here growing up thinking, the animals live in a nice, beautiful farm, like they, want us to believe, that they're grazing and they're loving it. And I started watching the videos. I said, oh my God, I was really like taken back. So I started researching the diet. And I said to myself, it can only help me. It can't hurt me anymore. Because as a matter of fact, at 47, and I was 50 then, a couple of years back, already had a mild heart attack, you know? Yeah, so I was in the hospital, And all I hear it through the night, other patients are, from other patients that were saying, code red, code blue, code red. And I'm like, here, 40, I think it was 47, 48. I'm like, oh my God, what happened to me? Where did I go wrong? I don't know. What did I do? But it wasn't until 2 years later at 50, when I was turning 50, and I was trying to brush my teeth, I remember, in my sink, and I was like, I was dizzy. I couldn't even drive at times. I had to pull over because the diabetes was really beating me up. And then so I did my research. The doctor gave me more pills. Like I always say, I was taking those things like they were Skittles. I mean, for everything. I mean, blood thinners. Painkillers, Gluvaride. all of them, all of them. I was like, especially the blood thinners are the worst. You know. So anyway, because they make you feel a little dizzy and everything, because the correct amount of blood doesn't get to your brain. So anyway, so I did my research, and I said I'm going to try it. But I was true to myself. I said I can't do this. I can't do this overnight. I've been eating meat and eating crap 50 years.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just take it one animal product at a time. And the one that had more impact on me was dairy. I said, dairy. I was like, wow, I didn't know. Plus I saw how they treated the cows and everything. I was like, so I said, okay, no more dairy. So I cut everything that was dairy that had milk, cow's milk in it. And so my coffee, so that's when, back then there was only coconut milk. I don't know if almond milk was still out. I'm not sure. So I started drinking it with coconut milk, but I didn't quite like it. The coconut milk from back then is not the same as today. We've come a long way, you know. So,
You had
so I
soy
started
milk
trying
though.
it.
You
Yeah,
definitely had soy
yeah,
milk.
yeah. Oh, I didn't see it. So I went for I like coconuts. I tried it. So after a while, I didn't quite like it. So I just went straight black. I said I needed my coffee. So I used to switch it up with coffee and tea, and anything else. So no more cheese, no more cereal with milk, nothing. And anything that contained dairy, I stopped. So it went well, but I already had made what I call the executive decision that I was going to get healthy. I was going to take control of my health, and there was no stopping me. And I was going to do it the right way, the only way I could. And so I joined the gym as well. So I joined the gym. I joined the gym. I started cutting out dairy. And 3 months later, I cut out pork. 3 months later, I started doing some grass-fed beef. And then I couldn't find it, so I eliminated beef. Then from there, I think I went to shellfish, and shellfish, then tuna, then regular fish, because I was eating a lot of salmon, and regular fish, things like that. So a year and a half later, but as I eliminated something from my plate, I added something there. I didn't keep the plate empty, because then you starve. Then you say this vegan diet doesn't work. It's all because you're doing it wrong. You know. So I started eating a lot of bean salad, things like that. I started looking, and I realized there was more than just tomato and potatoes out there. There was other vegetables. So I started looking to YouTube, getting recipe, because I had to learn how to cook myself. There was no vegan restaurants, anything, and I didn't know how to cook. I just said, I'm going to try it. And if something tastes bad, I put a little hot sauce. Hey, it was good. Forget about it. Forget about it. So I went from there, and I just started. So I learned how to cook little by little, and I started discovering other fruit. Besides orange and apples and bananas. There was watermelon. There were, all this other fruit. I was like, wow. And I just started incorporating more into my diet. I started using less lettuce, more nuts in my salads, more tomatoes, more cucumbers, more solid foods, more seeds. As I learned more, I started adding more seeds. So my salads were like no joke. And then I made a lot of soup, because soup used to fill me. So broccoli, cauliflower, and I used to get full. And then that's how. And then lastly, I eliminated eggs, because eggs had me like this. That's a lot. Eggs and cheese, I think, is the grabs of people like hard. But after that, so what happened was I went to a health seminar in Georgia. Dr. Furman, he had a health seminar, and for the whole weekend, I think it was a Friday to a Saturday night, he would speak about the egg and how bad he broke it up and everything. How he said how one egg contained this much bad cholesterol, this cholesterol. And meanwhile, I got a 18 count, free range eggs in my fridge. And I said, wow. After that seminar, I came home, I took it, I dumped it all in the garbage. I said, that was it. And I dumped it, and that was my last animal product. So 3 months later, I said, let me see how I'm doing. So I got my blood work, you know. But this time though, but this time what I was doing, so when I started my diet, I started taking my medicine religiously, like the doctor prescribed, because it's a band-aid. It's a band-aid as a diabetic. If you change your lifestyle, you should take it, you know. But I tested myself every day, every day. I mean, my fingers were black from testing it. But I got the correct numbers, you know. So I knew that if I one day rise with this and that, and my number, like went up, I said, okay, what in this plate is making it rise? I say, well, it ain't the beans, it ain't this, it could be the rice. So next day I will have it without rice and I have something else. Maybe I have something like not a white potato, but sweet potato, and the numbers dropped. I said, okay, that rice is no good for me. So I knew already. So I started experimenting on myself. I was the guinea pig. I was my own guinea pig. And so as I saw that I didn't need the medicine because my blood sugar was good, I didn't take the medicine that day. So I stopped taking it. I stopped taking it till I was already like 6 months out of the medicine, And then I got my blood work, and I went, and then I made up an appointment, and the physician comes up to me. Oh my God, you're looking kind of skinnier. I go, what you doing? I go, I didn't tell him I went vegan. I thought, I'm making better choices with food. I'm exercising, just trying to better my lifestyle. He goes, well, I go, you're doing a great job because as I saw the blood work, he goes, I don't know what you're doing, but you should keep doing it. I go, what happened? He goes, there's no sign of diabetes anymore. He goes, everything's working properly. He goes, you're a little low here, a little low there, but that's normal and some other stuff. But I totally reversed diabetes, and the doctor told me that. They're going to say, hey, maybe my eyes are getting better. So, because when you're diabetic, because when originally I got diagnosed, I went and I got it tested, and the doctor said, you should take your medicine, everything, because it looks real bad back then. You could, and with diabetes, you could lose your sight or become real bad. So I said, okay, So anyway, so I went back. I made an appointment with him, So he said, oh, how you doing? He said the same thing. Hey, you looking kind of skinny. What are you doing? I said, same thing. Again, the same answer. He goes, wow. He goes, I should do what you do. He goes, because he was pretty, he had extra pounds on him. And so then he goes, all right, let's check the eyes. Let's see how the diabetes is doing. So he, first he does all this other stuff. Then he dilates my eyes so he can look behind it, whatever that thing is called. So then he gets, the thing, the micro, he starts looking like this around, And he's like, I see him look. He goes, well, what's changed in your lifestyle? I go, I exercise, I eat more plants. I told him, went a little vegan. That he goes, wow. He goes, I don't see no sign of diabetes. He goes, in your eyes. I was like, wow. I mean, I was like flabbergasted. And since that day, I've been on a high, I've been on a high, and that's why I'm out all the time. That's why, because like I told people, I resurrected from the couch. I'm alive. I've lost, my original weight, like I said, was 310. I'm down to 165. My waist was 44. I'm down to a 30. And my shirts are like slim, extra slim. I never bought things like that. So for me, even buying clothes is a pleasure. It's like, wow, like I'm in Disneyland or something, So anyway, so that's my story. So then, I started exercising more. I started lifting weights then because I was doing a lot of cardio. I even started gaining muscle, at that age. And I never had those things. I actually started, started getting like a six-pack and thing that actually amazed me. I was like, wow. And we're talking this at 53 after being obese 25 years. So that's what I tell people. If you give your body the time that you gave it to get sick and gain all that extra weight, give it the same time to get healthy, because it will. The body has memory.
Yep.
The body has muscle memory, has all this memory. All you got to do is just give it some electrical food. Like when they come and you have your cardio, what they do? They give you,
they give you the shock.
Right? They give you the shock. So they only do that to the heart. But what about we start eating electrical food? They start giving shock to the whole body, your whole organs, your blood, your skin. I didn't have no surgery. I didn't do no powders. I'm not against it, but it wasn't for me. I have no stretch mark. I haven't got no surgeries done, everything, because over time, even my skin got healthy and regained elasticity, little by little. So you have to feed it properly. So I said, and when I started at 50s, I'm going to give myself a 5-year, because every good business, you got to give a 5-year plan, either to make it or not make it. 5 years. So you usually start for 3, and then the last 2 you start making a little money. That's how it is. So that's why the old Star Trek with Captain Kirk, they go like this. They went on a 5-year mission. They went on a 5-year mission, to find new life. So it takes 5 years. Be patient. We live in society. We want everything overnight. Be patient. Heal your body, because not only are you healing your body, but your organs. And we should focus on and then as I started learning, because I really I binged some videos. Then I started learning about the visceral fat, the fat is around the organs, not the fat outside. We focus too much on the fat outside, but we should be focused on that, because once the fat, gets away from the kidney's like, wow, this is good. It starts beating again. And all your organs start beating again. And that's because you get that shock. You gave it a shock. And that comes with electrical food, which is plants, And, and then that's about 3 years ago. That's why I go Fab the Vegan, because, after a while, I started knowing I was that vegan, the weird guy, So they go, hey, you're Fab, right? Like, you're that vegan, right? So I said, so it stuck. I said, Fab the Vegan. I like it. so now I actually, now opened the LLC, and mostly I call myself Fab the Vegan, the plant-based health influencer. And I just try to influence people, because we could all be an influence in our circle, in our families. And because of me, the change that I made 2013, my younger son went vegan. His wife now is vegan. His my grandkids, 2 kids are vegan. My older daughter was pescatarian. She went fully vegan. Her husband is vegan, and my granddaughter is vegan. So now it's like the diabetes trait I had because of the food we ate. Like the meme that says, raw diabetes doesn't run in my family. It's because nobody runs in our families, So I stopped it. I mean, I was able to stop it, and I'm able to enjoy my kids and look at my grandkids and say, they don't have to go through all this sickness that I went through, all this. That's why I said, if you could prevent it, it's so much better than being diagnosed and then try to fix yourself. You can do it to a point. A lot of things you can't, but a lot of things you could, Yeah. If you could restore your body even 75% to where you should be at, you're 75% ahead of the game, 50%, even 25%. And I tell a lot of people, it's not the big things we miss. It's the little things. I'm going to go for a walk. Get up in the morning and your back don't hurt, or you feel healthy because now you have a nice, healthy lifestyle. You exercise and you walk. And you say, I'm going to go for a walk. And you go for a walk. You know what? I'm going to take the bike out of the garage. I'm going to go cycling. And you don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. You go cycling, I started buying shoes that contain Velcro because I couldn't tie my shoelaces, So, because I couldn't bend down. I mean, 44 waist was a lot, Yep. Now, I got rid of those things. Now I can tie my laces, It's like I don't have to hold on to it. I could actually kneel down and tie my own shoelaces. It's like the little things, to clean yourself properly, There's the little things that we miss, and other things that are taken away because of food choices. Other things that are pleasurable to, to us as humans, is taken away because of food choices. I tell a lot of people also, our food choices have the power, bad food choices have the power to steal your future memories. They rob you of memories. They rob you, things that you could have been doing. Right now, either I would have been underground, or I would have been in an electric chair because I couldn't walk and moving around like this and just watching my grandkids play, But no, right now I'm rolling in the grass with them. I mean, they're healthy. I get to play with them. I get to see the 3rd generation of vegans, like vibrant, and I mean, forget about it, So, and I also came up with this survey. It says Fab the Vegan approved. And this means a lot to me, because to me, anybody that's trying to make a better choice to have more plants, you don't have to be 100%. But if you're trying to make a choice, if you're trying to take it from one animal, removing one animal at a time, but you're taking a step, like the famous Chinese proverb said, a trip of 1,000,000 miles starts with 1,000 miles starts with one step. And when I see people doing that, I let them know, Fab the Vegan approved, keep going. Because that's, back then I didn't have much support. I didn't have really no support. but I was strong enough to hold. And today is proof that if you stay committed to yourself, you keep making choices that make you alive, you will have your reward. And you will have it here. And then you see that in the rest. Because now, of course, when I started Fab, what about protein? Fab, I heard that is, that's no good. Fab, I heard too much plant's no good. I heard you got meat. I heard. And I said, yeah, I heard the same thing too. But I go, I'm doing this for me. Now, all I see is tumbleweeds in the pages. They don't even ask anymore.
Right, right. I don't get
Yeah,
those questions
so
anymore either.
no, we don't get those questions because the proof, like they say, the proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
With almond milk, of course. The proof is in the pudding.
Is
you know,
right.
yeah. So that's why I call myself the influencer. So that's part of my story.
That's fantastic. I want to touch on some of that because it directly relates to some of my history, like my family history. My dad actually passed away a year older than you from diabetes, from type 2
Wow.
diabetes. So, and he lost
Wow.
his eyesight. So as you're speaking,
Yeah.
I completely
Wow. Yes.
understand what I don't personally, but I understand living with someone that you love that
Yes.
is eating incorrectly, and
Hmm.
I was 18 years old when
Yeah.
he passed away. So most of my
Wow.
childhood I lived with a dad who was type 2 diabetic, heart disease,
Right.
strokes.
Yeah.
Odds are high
Yeah.
cholesterol was in there too. I don't
Yeah.
exactly know his blood
Everything.
work, but I'm sure he had all of
No.
those issues because
Yeah.
that leads to strokes, diabetes, and heart attacks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I knew what he was doing was wrong, but there's no telling an adult
Yeah.
that I
No.
knew that he needed to stop and change, but
Yeah.
there's no one in my family would really say you need to stop and change, but no one really had the
Yeah.
knowledge back then.
Exactly.
And we were talking about 1988,
Oh yeah. Oh
right? He was
yeah.
on insulin. I was giving him his insulin shots. I was filling the
Yeah.
needle. I was like, it's a lot of fun for me. But if I really
Yeah.
understood what I was
Yeah.
doing, I'd
That.
be like, you need to
I
stop
know.
this. But I mean, today, I mean,
Yeah.
you went and figured out the power of
Yeah.
fueling your body with food and the
Exactly.
benefits
When I
of
was
that.
that. Yeah. Yeah. And when I was diagnosed, I forgot to mention actually, I was diagnosed because I didn't want to even think about it that I was sick because I was hustling for my business and everything.
Right.
So I ignored it for about almost a year. So what happened that after I finally had to go to the doctor because I was actually getting chest pains and all this other stuff, and they diagnosed me. I came out of the hospital and about I don't know if it was maybe like a month later, no, a couple of weeks after, I my body like just quit on me. I couldn't even move or nothing. I had the pain, and I was bedridden for about 10, 11 months
Oh,
in bed. Diabetes is the core of everything. You know, it's bad. It's
it's a
what I
big
call the
deal.
silent killer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah,
so silent because I feel like
yeah.
people who have diabetes and start having those symptoms like getting toes removed, amputations
Oh my
and
god.
losing eyesight and everything
Yeah,
else that goes along with it. I think there's some
yeah,
denial there because my dad had me in
yeah,
the car once and he went off the road as he was like trying to
yeah,
turn, he didn't turn. It's because he couldn't see the road because he couldn't
yeah,
see because he lost his
yeah,
eyesight from the diabetes,
yeah,
and that's when he
yeah,
had to stop driving. And
yeah,
he didn't want to
yeah,
stop driving because when you lose their driving, you lose independence.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
there's a lot of pieces to this that I feel like
Oh
people
yes.
who are sick like just want to be in denial for being sick, but with that denial and
Yeah.
wanting to have that coke or wanting to have that fatty foods or whatever it is that's keeping you where you're at is keeping you where you're not going to be. It's like absolutely brilliant. It takes away your future
Like
memories. I
yeah,
love that. I love that you related it to that
yeah.
because you're not going to have that many. I mean, look what he missed out on. He missed out on grandchildren. He missed out
I know. Yeah,
on like a whole lifetime of stuff
yeah, yeah.
because of food.
Because of food.
Because
Yeah,
of food.
yeah, yeah. I was talking to my friend at gym a couple of years back. He's doing very well now too. He said, "Fab, because I let go of chicken, it began to stink to me when I used to eat." I go, "Yeah, your body's healing." He goes, "I stopped red meat." He goes, "Now I'm working on this." I go, "Good, take your time. Keep going." He goes, Fab." He goes like this. He says something so powerful that I was like, "Wow." He said, "Fab, I'm no longer gonna let my palate control my future. I was like, whew, heavy, brother. He said, nope, I'm 100%. He goes, I'm not going to let my palate control my future. I was like, wow,
And
you're on the road, buddy.
it's not like you can't eat delicious food.
No, I
It's like
know.
it's we're not
And now it's
saying like
like,
you're gonna eat
I know.
drab, like
Oh,
no
no.
spices, not
Exactly.
deliciousness.
Yeah. And now, it's like now it's even better. Now it's like, forget about it. You could just, I tell people, if you're ever in the area, we got phones now. You could just Google, vegan, whatever, near me. Boom. You even get it delivered now. Come on. Yeah. It's
I
like,
know in Florida did one of these like 180s. There was nothing. There was nothing in Florida that was vegan, like absolutely
no,
zero. And then like
nothing.
a few years later, it's all vegan.
Yeah.
Like that you can't
Yeah.
go very far
No,
without hitting a vegan bakery, vegan
no.
restaurants, and not like restaurants that have vegan options, like 100% vegan or vegan
100%. Yeah.
vegetarian
Yeah. Yes.
all over the
Yes.
place. I couldn't believe it because I
Oh,
was
yeah.
down there. I think I was down there as being vegan. And I was like, there's nothing here. And I was thinking about
Yeah.
producing a veg fest there. And then next thing I
Okay.
know, there's like a veg fest. And there's like so many now. There's all over Florida. But also
All
the
over.
food. I was like, what?
Yeah.
How did you guys go from nothing? By the way, he's in
Yeah.
Florida. If you didn't know, how did you go from
Yeah.
nothing to everything? Like,
Exactly.
and plus it's a lifestyle down there where it's
Yeah.
sun, it's
Yeah.
outdoors, it's exercise, ocean. I mean, you don't have
Right. Yeah.
you have no mountains, you barely have a hill.
No. Yeah,
So
I know.
it's a flat state
Yeah.
with like
Yeah.
outdoor activities galore.
Yeah.
So you would think
Yeah.
it would be more health minded, which would gravitate
Yeah.
towards a
Yeah.
plant-based vegan type
Yeah.
lifestyle. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad that
Yeah.
happened because visiting makes
Oh,
things so
yeah.
much better.
Exactly. And I contribute all this, to people like us that are out there and making a difference, and people like us to go out and request it. Maybe we go to a restaurant and we say, and things like that, social media by posting. If I was a business owner, if I own a restaurant, I said this, plant-based stuff is exploding. We need to get something over here, and that's what does it. And that's why we need to be more active. If it's even on social media, telling a friend only, or whatever, inviting them to a local vegan thing. Hey, and so I think it's all of us. I think we're doing a great job everywhere. So it's collectively we're doing a good job.
Right, you're a
So
walking
everybody pat yourself on the
pat
back.
yourself in the back. I mean, you're a walking billboard, right? From people who knew
Right.
you previously. And one
Yeah.
thing I really want to touch on is the fact that you said I was 50 years old, right? So you're a male that's 50. I'm a female that's 51, right? We're in our
Hmm.
50s. And the thing about for females is menopause.
Yeah.
All the ads say, well, menopause, you can't lose the belly fat. You can't
Hmm.
lose weight. You're going to gain. It's going to be
Yeah.
really hard to get it off.
Right.
No. I'm going to tell you that yes, it's hard to get it off, but not for the
Yeah.
reasons that they're saying. It's hard to get it off
Exactly.
because you have to dedicate the time and the energy to exercising and eating right every single day.
Yeah.
That's what you have to
Exactly.
do. And
Yeah.
yeah, as a female, we are going to get belly fat. We are going to have menopausal type
Hmm.
symptoms. We are going to like,
Right.
have that stuff happen to us. But it doesn't dictate what happens to you. You dictate what happens to you. And you're living proof of that over
Thank you.
50, you can make a
Yeah.
change and
Yeah.
keep that change going and make it so your health is better.
Exactly. That's what I say. If this old man did it at 50, being diabetic and carrying, I don't like the word obese because I think a word obese is something that is used by the pharmaceuticals to give you more drugs. I'll say you carry an extra weight that you shouldn't. And if this guy can do it, anybody can do it. And I have a thing I have to say though. I used to look at this guy like the strong fat. You know, I feel good. I feel strong now. That's only because of the guy behind me at my shoulder. Take this shoulder over here,
Yep.
the guy with the red. That guy was actually stronger than me
Yeah.
because when he was down, rock bottom, on his back, sick and everything, he had the power to get up and say, "No, I'm going to change my life." He had the power. So love yourself in the condition you're now, because now is where you are the strongest in your life. Just like that guy was. He was the strong in his life. And because of that guy, I'm here.
I'm
If
so
that guy
proud of
back there,
you.
if that guy back there never would have said, "I'm gonna do it," I never would have been here. So you see, you're not the strongest when you finish the journey or you're ahead of the journey. It's
Yeah.
when you begin in the journey. That's when you're the strong. Because so that's when you need the most strength. So love yourself where you're at.
Yes. Yes, and self
Yes.
confidence and self worth all factor into making these choices and decisions for yourself.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, I want to know what it was like for you to start going to the gym. Because that's
Well, that's a
not
good
easy.
question.
That is not an easy task when you have all
No.
that extra weight and plus going to
Hmm.
the gym
No.
and going to the gym in
Yeah.
Florida.
Forget it. I know exactly. So, oh my God. So I joined the gym. I joined it in January. I didn't go to February sometime, whatever. I said, okay, I got to go. I got to go. I think it was close to Valentine's. I got to go. But, I'm always been very, in that point, if I wanted something in life, I went for it. So I went, I put on my plastic, of course, because you gotta put plastic. That's what you do when you start, whatever. That was the thing. So I put my plastic, I put my sweatshirt, my hoodie, my sweatpants, and then I put something in the bottom here, this waist trim or whatever. And that's and I started going. I got on the treadmill, no lie. I couldn't even do like 10 minutes. I was there and just walking, I was like, and I was sweating. Plus, I put all those things so my body's not breathing. So, advice: if you go to see, just start. Don't put all the stuff on. Just
A
put a
t-shirt and
sweatshirt,
shorts
just
is
a sweat.
good.
Exactly, that's good enough. I didn't know. I just went along for what I saw. So I was like 10 minutes. I was like dying. So I started going every other day. Then the next time I went, I probably did 11 minutes. So
Hmm.
on and so on. So I used to challenge myself. So a lot of times what I did is I put a towel over the timer from the treadmill, so I didn't see the time because I can be very subconsciously hurt you. So I just walked till I was tired, and sometimes I did less. Sometimes I even did minutes more. So I'm like, wow, okay. And a year, 2 years later, I started losing the weight and everything. No lie, because then after a while I started like trying to jog, into what they
Hmm.
call it, whatever, into whatever. Anyway, so I ran for 1 minute, walked for five, ran for one. You know, no lie, by the end of 2 years, an hour, just running at a nice pace. I was in heaven. I was in heaven. But it's not easy. So what happened? I did a lot of cardio. So I was getting a little flabby and things like that. So the weight's intimidating. Because, by the weight, everybody's, already been there like 100 years working out. But I said, Fab, you're too old even to even think like that. I always talk to myself. I was like 50, so I said, what you got to worry about? So I went over there. So I said, okay, I tried one day, I tried all the machines. And then I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 3 machines and do those 3 for the next month or 2. I'm not going to go there and try to kill it like the guy next to me because that guy probably been training for, I don't know, 5, 10 years. So I was true to myself. Again, be true to yourself. So I think I was doing some bench pressing, lightweight, and I did a thing, sets of 6 repetitions, 3 sets. Nice and easy. I went to the other machine. So I did 15-minute cardio. I did the 3 machines. I came back and finished 15-minute cardio. Nice and easy. I didn't overdid it because when you overdid it's when you get so tired, you hurt for the next 5 days. And then what you blame? You don't blame yourself. You blame them. Oh my God, this gym stuff is not for me. No, take it. That's what I said. Take your time. It's not that. It's not that serious. And in that sense, you will get there, but you have to do it. Like little by little. You start training. You start changing your diet. Do your research. If you don't know something and you can't find it on whatever, ask a friend. you know
Yeah.
Send me a message. I don't send somebody a message. Hey, I'm having this problem. Okay, I may not know it, but if I don't, I refer them to somebody else. I don't know everything. I just know what I know. I stay in my lane.
Yeah.
And if I don't know something, I forward to somebody else. Again, because we're all working in this together. We're here to build this up together. So yeah, so after a while I just started hitting the weights, and that's why I started like getting muscles and everything. Here I am, 54 years old, and girls in the late 20s hitting on me. I was like, okay, all right, I'm in there.
This was
I
so
said, all
worth
right.
it.
Yeah, I was like, wow. But again, it's nice, to laugh at it, but I just took it humbly. I was like, it's humbling to know that you actually what you're doing, you know, is catching the attention of other people. So I say to myself, yeah, I'm catching the attention of these young ladies. That means the older people are even like looking, you know? So that's when I started. Then I started ordering a lot of shirts that say I'm vegan and everything. I started wearing them to the gym. I started putting the hashtag before I was a company, hashtag Fab the Vegan, and I started wearing them. And I was the only vegan there. And through wearing the shirts, I actually met other vegans that did put on their shirts because back then it was, frowned upon to be vegan. And now it's like we're the coolest. So
It's true.
so hey, you're vegan, I'm vegan. So it's like, and you built a little community. It's like, and then I found out there were, little by little more vegans are in the gym and everything. And it's amazing. So I used to, use me as a billboard, you know. I
Hmm.
mean, this is priceless real estate. That's why everybody wants you. That's why you have companies wanted you to wear the shirts with their name on it, their pants, their sneakers, their hats with the name on it. Be your own brand, and you wear your own name because they want this. This is better than a billboard. We actually, people that advertise in billboards pay for that. We actually buy their names to wear it, and I mean, that's why they're rich. So we gotta. So I buy, so you buy locally. You got two people that, small business that are producing, vegan shirts and everything. And you buy from them. Yes, it could be a little more, but it's a small business. You're supporting a small business. You're supporting the cause. You know, that's how we gotta start looking at things differently. And even so, what if you're gonna pay $30 and not 20 from another store? Those $30 are going to support a family, and which create a bigger movement. So that's what I do. So that's why I do my own shirts and things like that, and I buy from friends and I put them up on Facebook, the company, the everything. Because a lot of them are doing very good, very good. It's a good message. So yeah,
No, that's fantastic. It really
yeah.
is.
Thank you.
I kind of want your logo on all our shirts or like on all
All right.
on all our events.
Mm.
Because I love
Let's
saying that we're
talk.
Fab the Vegan approved.
Yeah, approved.
I
Yes,
think
I
that's
would
really
love it.
neat. We could grow both of what we do
Yes,
with,
exactly.
making sure people understand that. And if when and if I get back to having, well, I will, the words matter.
Yeah,
When we get back to
yeah.
having like in-person education, like I know in Florida they're having people come and speak at events. I don't feel
Hmm.
comfortable doing that yet at our events.
Yeah,
So I just don't
yeah,
feel comfortable but like having people
yeah,
sit and congregate together with COVID.
yeah,
Florida's like a whole
yeah.
different animal in this country.
Oh yes,
So
a whole different beast.
I mean, you'd be a fantastic MC.
Thank you, thank you. That's what I'm going for. Yeah,
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 no, really,
yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it because it's my own journey, and I just share things in my life. So I like to tell people like I wing it because it's my story. And last event we had over there at the Solid Rock, the Vegfest, and over here in Pinellas.
Hmm.
Actually, what I did is I brought my son up to speak, and my granddaughters, and I made everybody Fab the Vegan approved T-shirts.
Yep.
And they sent out the message, and that was my message that day. How you can be an influence for your future generation. Like I said, 20, 30 years from now, they're gonna look at pictures of me, or they're gonna say, "Wow." And my grandkids, or my great grandkids say, "Wow, that was grandpa, that was great grandpa. Look how he changed his life." And they'll say, "Yeah, he went vegan, and that's when we went plant-based and blah blah blah." And they, instead of looking at a picture of a guy who passed away because of certain disease, they're gonna look at, "Wow, all right, my grandpa was a bad beep."
You can
Yeah,
totally say
you know, yeah,
it.
badass.
Yep.
And I mean, it's better than saying other things. So you're creating a new future. You're creating a new legacy. You know, you're creating something new. Why not be that influence? I'm just one. You could be the influencer in your life. I'm influencing you today to be an influencer.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's all that matters because we choice things. Of course, like I tell people, so what? You have a bad day, maybe you try something that you should. Okay, so what?
It's
That was
okay.
yesterday.
Yep.
It's today. I tell people yesterday was too early, tomorrow is too late, today is perfect. That's it.
Yeah, we all eat stuff. Like, we're not perfect. There are days where you're just
No.
like, I want that chocolate or I want
Yeah. Yeah.
that pancake flavored kettle corn, which is what I
Yes.
ate
Yes.
yesterday.
I
There's
know.
just
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah.
but not every day. and not
No,
and
that's no.
I didn't share in the
Yeah.
ice cream cone last night that Steven had because I was like I ate all that popcorn, so it's like balances out for the day.
That balances all that. Yeah, it's like
That would
like
just be a
me.
little too much.
Yeah, like me, I prepare food in the home, things like that. But when I go out to my vegan places, no, I'm not gonna eat a nice kale salad or nothing. No, I'm going for the meatball soup. I'm going for the Philly. I'm gonna eat me some fries, everything, because that's what I'm there for. Of course, all that is vegan.
Right.
And so, yeah, I'm gonna eat because that's what I'm there for. I'm not punishing myself or I'm not treating myself. It's just my lifestyle. Because I do it properly, let's say 4 or 5 days out of the week. And when I go out, hey, I want that Philly, I want that meatballs, I want this, I want that. It's, I even, that's why I take a lot of posts on my Facebook, like to see me having a beer and things like that. And sometimes I have my cigars too. And they go, Fab, you have beer? I go, yeah. I go, and life is not about bad or good choices, it's making better choices. Like now, like I drink Stella and I drink Heineken. Why you drink Stella? Because Stella is a vegan beer, that only has 5 ingredients. You know, Heineken is also brewed good. It's brewed hot, so you're getting good, clean beer. So if you like beer, those are better choices. They don't have all those chemicals. You know what we people call beer belly. It's not the belly. It's not the wheat in it that's giving you the belly. It's those chemicals that the company, those fish guts that the company are putting in there, so that so they can sell it quicker. That's why it's so important to educate yourself on everything that you like. Let's say, because there are better choices out there. You know, so that's you got to live. Whatever that is. So always better choices.
Yeah, just
Even as a even, yeah, even as a vegan plant based, there's always better choices.
that's
Like you
true.
did last night. Like you did last night.
Yeah, better and worse choices. There definitely are.
Right?
That was like dinner last night was like roasted
Yeah.
carrots and a salad because I ate all that popcorn. So you kind of
Exactly.
balance it out. So you just I was
Yeah.
like okay, let's just like
Yeah.
we're not gonna have a really heavy meal. Well, for me,
Exactly.
poor Steven,
Yeah.
he could end
Exactly.
up eating this really light meal. He's starving, but I'm like I can't
Oh
eat a lot
God.
tonight.
Yeah.
And fresh
Exactly. Because you
bread.
already know. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
Exactly. So
make a
you
lot of
see,
fresh bread.
we're not perfect. We're plant based. We're vegan. We love our planet. We love our animals. And we love ourselves. And
Yep.
yes, it is what it is. And you do what you can. You know, I like um I like Maya Angelou, the
Hmm.
poet. She said, "I did what I did. I did what I did yesterday. I did what I did yesterday because that's all I knew." She go, "I now I know better. Now I know better and I do better.
Right.
It's okay. You know, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow, it's not here. Today, you know, today is what matters. What choices you're gonna make today, food wise? Are you instead of staying on the couch all day binging on Netflix? Maybe today I'm just gonna go for a walk up the block and down. And you don't have to kill it. And the thing is, you don't even have to come back sweaty. A lot of we try to get ourselves like if I don't come back sweaty, I didn't work out, and that's not true. Go walk because the main thing you want to do is get those legs moving, especially if you're diabetic, because that's where everything starts in your legs. That's where blood starts clogging because they're not moving. So go for a walk. Give them a little, 10, 20, 30 minutes. Get the blood pumping, And if you can't really walk, when you're laying in bed, before you get up, do this with your feet. Stretch your legs, stretch your toes, laying down. Move your legs in and out. That gets the blood moving. That's like, taking this bottle and shaking it. You shake it and everything makes it's the same thing. So your blood starts moving. Now you're getting more blood in your brain. Now you feel more awake. And you don't, like I said, you don't even have to get up and go sweat. Just move your toes if you can't walk. Then when you start walking, go for a walk. You don't have to come back sweaty. Just do it. Then if you want to challenge yourself, that's up to you. But the main thing, get the blood moving. Let it circulate. Let it circulate. My doctor when I went to when I was diagnosed, I went on a Friday, and my doctor said after he came back and told me about the diabetes, he said, "You're diabetic, blah blah blah." He goes, "A good thing you came in today." He goes, "Because by Monday you already would have been in a coma and you wouldn't have woke up. I would have been in a diabetic coma." He goes, "Your blood is so thick." He goes, "I could pour it on pancakes." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "My blood was so because it was already doing damages and everything." It's so thick I can put it out there. So when I went home, I was taking the pill and I injected myself. He goes, if the pill doesn't work, you're gonna have to take it. I said, okay. He goes, that's how thick your blood is. He said. So I'm a miracle. I know I'm a miracle because if I would have just stayed home that weekend, I went into a coma, I would have been done. So I know I'm a miracle, and that's why I like to pay it forward because a lot of people that are like me today that may not have that now you can get that information. Back then I couldn't. But now and you have a lot of support groups now and things like that. So that's why I say pay it forward. That's the best thing you can do. You know. So yeah.
Yeah, no, everything's timing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes for negative, sometimes for positive, sometimes in between.
Yeah.
But timing is everything in this life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you did what you had to do, and even more importantly, you took the first steps, literally and
Yeah.
figuratively. You took the first steps, and
Yeah.
that's the best advice that we can give anybody. Is
Anybody.
yes, it's going to be hard when you're 300, 400 pounds. Those first steps are
Oh,
really, really hard. To the
yeah.
end of the block and back
Yeah.
is possibly
Oof.
like somebody running a marathon.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
go to the end of the block and back, because I
Yeah. Yeah.
promise you that the next day you'll go to
Mm-hmm.
the end of the block and a little
Yeah.
further and back.
And a little further. And I
Yep.
also suggest to people that if they have pools, so they know a YMCA that has a pool, go there, go in the pool, and
Walk.
walk not the long way, but the short way. Just walk back, touch the rim,
Yep.
walk back, get out. But I could do one more. I don't want you to do one more. Get out. Next day, do the same thing. The following week, tap it, come back, do it again. Now you could do it twice. In 6 months, you'll be going the long way back and forth. So now you got the pool, right? Here's the pool, right? So now you're swimming back and forth, right? Whatever, things like that. Now instead of walking the pool, you're walking outside the pool in your own private yard. Nobody has to see you. You're walking outside the pool. Now you can do that. Now you walk in your yard. Now you feel strong because you already inspire yourself. Now you go around the block, right? So now you go. So 2 years later, you started just one trip at the short end of the pool. A year later, and I'm talking a year later, I'm not talking 30 days.
Yep.
A year later, you're walking around the block. You're carrying your bottle. You actually wore some exercise clothes. You're like, wow. So imagine if you're a year later, you're there. Imagine 2 years later. But it starts with that little step. If you never would have get in that pool to do that little step or go up and down that block, you're never gonna be where you know you could be, because we all could be. Trust me again, if this old man did it, anybody can do it. So it's just little steps. And that's what I do. If you want to transition we want. And I always say, don't ever try to give up your most favorite animal product. Don't go there. Let's say you like red meat. You like cow. Okay, you like that. Let's not worry about that right now. What do you like the least? I could do without fish. Okay, boom. Let's cut out the fish because you're not going to miss it.
Right.
You start an exercise. You do fish. Then after a while, you're ready for something else. What do you want to give up now? I don't really need dairy that much with so many. Now we got vegan products, milk. So you start little by little. Now, by the time a year later, when you get to tackle the red meat, you're not even going to make a decision because you know what? By the time you're going to feel so healthy and so clean that it's just going to fade away. I say, and you're going to eat one day, you'll say, why the hell am I eating this? I don't
This
need
doesn't
this.
make me feel
And
good.
it doesn't, actually makes me feel sleepy
Right.
because it's a depressant, especially all those chemicals hormones they put on it. It gets us, once you meet, you're like in a couch like this, you can't move for another 3 hours, and it's. So why? So little by little, you're going to start giving things up. And then by the end of your journey, you're not even going to miss the most important animal you liked. But the mistake we make is we start with the one that we love the best. And that's where we go wrong. Start with the least. Like I said, okay, maybe you don't like red meat. Okay, then don't eat it no more. And we'll tackle something else down the line. Because once you start cutting out one thing at a time, your body starts like, okay, thank you. It starts
Yeah.
waking up. It's like starts dancing. It starts talking to you again. Your body starts to say, oh, go get me three burgers. Oh, because I gotta eat. Your body starts talking. You say, you know what? You don't really need that. You're feeling good. What are you doing? And you're like, you're right. This is all going in your head. You're right. I don't need that. Yeah.
Yes, yes, the conversation is so important to listen to that conversation, to listen to how you
Yeah.
feel, to take notice
Yeah.
of how you feel,
Yeah.
to stop moving so
Exactly.
quickly, to
Yes.
take notice. I think yoga would
Yes.
be really good. I think everyone should do
Yeah.
yoga at this point. Just take a
Yeah.
moment, 15 minutes of yoga a day. Just take a
That's it.
moment and put the
Yeah.
phone away and just
Yeah.
be with yourself.
Yeah.
And
Just be. Yeah.
yeah, and that could be
Yeah.
like your meditation or whatever it is.
What it is.
Whatever
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Whatever gets you tuned into yourself, and just learn. Maybe we live in this fast-paced world that maybe you're only going to be able to do it 5 minutes one day because that's how we program. But you did it 5 minutes. You know what I mean? And then again, then you add a minute. Then you'll be doing 15, 20 minutes with no problem, and it's going to relax you. And your body's going to talk to you. Hey, yesterday when you went to that and you ate that wasn't very smart. Why don't we try again better? Why don't we do better today?
Right.
And you start getting communication because we're blocked. We've been separated. So let's start getting back together, one person. Body and soul together, and start becoming one in ourselves. Which is very important. I learned that this was the going plant based and exercise and losing weight and getting healthy was a spiritual journey, not a physical journey. Is when I started learning a lot about myself. That's what I tell people: when your journey becomes spiritual, you're on the real journey now. Then I started finding things about myself, things, trauma from when I was a kid, and why I ate so much, why I ate this, why I ate that. Food also holds a lot of memories,
Yep.
you know? Yeah. So,
Yep.
we got to talk, I tell people also, the memories that you have are yours to keep. You could get rid of the food, but you don't have to get rid of the food with the memories. Keep the memories, they're yours. Like land people, they like pork, they like this, they like that. And every Christmas up, we're gonna have pork like grandma used to make. So they're not really, it's not about the animal, it's about those memories that when they smell it, oh, remember grandma?
Yep.
So I tell people it's okay to, you know, separate the two, get rid of the animal that's making you sick, and keep the memories. So learn how to retain the memories. They're yours to keep forever and ever and ever.
Right. Convert the
Yeah.
food to plant-based vegan with the flavors,
Thank
with
you.
the spices,
Thank you.
and
Yeah.
create a new tradition with your family
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
more friendly for the planet, your health, and for the animals.
Yes, exactly. You could start creating your own legacy now.
Yep.
But again, it starts with one. I always say, somebody has to go to the generation line. Somebody has to go to the cross. Somebody, because no cross, no glory. Somebody has to say no. This is where it ends. There's another saying that I read. He said, "It ran in my family till it ran into me." You see, and you say no, no more. This is where it ends. I'm gonna pay the price. So you hold back all these diseases, and now, like with my family, my grandkids and my kids, they go moving on without this diabetes nonsense in my life. But somebody has to pay the price. And if you're willing to pay the price, you're going to become the influencer. You're going to be allergic in 20, 30 years. When everybody's grown up and and you're gone maybe or whatever, and they sit around the table, they talk about you, say, hey, grandpa, grandma, she was pretty cool, man. And they're going to hold a piece of, I don't know, some vegan stuff. Thanks, grandma. Thanks, grandpa. You know, it's amazing. You stop in disease at its tracks. It's
Yeah,
amazing. It's
what's
amazing.
really funny is looking at the food that they're going to eat in like 30, 40 years. It's
Oh, I
going to
know.
be like, it's going to blow away the
I
awesomeness that
know.
we have now.
Wow. I know. Like that was blown away 10 years ago,
I
you know?
know.
I know. They're going to be having like, my God, I tell you, they're going to have it so good. I mean, we're having good now,
Right.
but imagine that in the movement and just, and again, another thing I said, I'm going to look back, like let's say 20 years from now. I give myself 20, could be a lot less, but I'm saying when the last slaughterhouse closes.
Yeah.
And I want to sit back and I want to tell my family, my kids, I go, I was part of that movement.
Yep.
I was there. I was there doing it, and I was part of that movement. You know, I go, and then they're going to have to go underground, the all these slaughter things, it's going to be like a drug, it has to be sold, So it's cool to be part of that movement,
Yeah, they
So
might
we'll
not
be
even
able to
have to
say
do
that.
that.
Exactly.
They're gonna have meat that's made from a petri dish.
Oh yeah, you always
So
got those. Yeah, you always have those one or two outlaws.
right, that's
No,
true.
it's been in my family forever.
Well, they're called hunter. They'll be called hunters, right?
Exactly.
And that's
It's
how people
so.
will do that, and they'll
Yeah.
have the diseases still in their lives,
Oh yeah,
and
exactly,
you can really
exactly.
eradicate a lot of disease by
Yeah,
eliminating animals from your diet, and
exactly.
you know,
And we'll be the proof. We'll be the proof, and imagine our next generation. It's
yeah,
it's amazing. It's really amazing, and that's why, like, I do what I do, like I say, because I'm doing it for the coming generation. Um, I feel great. I'm doing what I possibly can every day. I stay present. And just looking at my next two generations, my son and my grandkids, seeing what they're doing, how they, it's amazing. So I'm glad that I'm here to see it. You know,
yeah,
that I'm actually living. It's like wow, yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know what will happen tomorrow to me. Let's say tomorrow. Life is life. Who knows? But I know that in this moment, since I started my plant base, I regained my life. I have made better memories than I did the last 50 years. The last 50 years were a mess, because my health was a mess. I tell you again, I started gaining weight when I had my first daughter, and that was like 88. And then from there, I ballooned up, and, life gets in the way, Back then, there was really no education. I didn't know nutrition. I had to reteach myself what nutrition is. Nutrition doesn't mean picking up, you know, going through the drive-through. That's not
right.
nutrition. This, you know. And I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know that. I was like, wow. When I started finding out what's in the food, about processed food, about GMOs, I was like, wow. I couldn't get enough. I was like binging. I was like, oh my God, forget it. I was reading every label in the store, every label in the vegetable. It's amazing. And that was back then when there were not too much, where they could sell it, that would, not even putting if it was organic or not, things like that.
Right.
So now today it's like you have trusted, markets, vegetable market, trusted health stores, trusted, people that you can reach out and you know what you're getting, So it's a good thing. So now you're living in an age where you could get it, local farmers,
Yep.
again, they deliver it to you. They send it in the box to you now,
Yes,
So it's like,
it's true.
it's true. You can. My daughter, she gets a lot of food from Miami. That somebody she knows over there, and she gets more of the tropical fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, so it's out there if you want it. It's out there
Yes,
if you want it.
that's
It's
true.
out there.
Now
It's out there if you
especially.
now especially. So now there's really really no excuses. You know.
Yeah,
So now you can you may pay a little more, but we pay more for
you
we
pay more
pay
for
more for a
healthcare.
coffee cup, a healthcare, and a coffee cup. We could. It's the way we've been programmed. It's okay to pay $10 for a coffee in Starbucks. Oh, but don't pay for that coconut oil too much. It's like so we have to really relearn. We have to relearn because it's for this. It's for this vehicle. You know.
Yep.
Oh my lady's there. She's like cool.
Well,
Yes.
thank
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
so much, Fab, for
Thank you
for
for
joining
having
me.
me.
This has been I'm so stinking proud of you. I can't tell you.
Thank you so much.
Like brought me to tears
Thank
through
you.
some of this. I mean, I'm really
Thank you.
super
Good.
like glad that I know you and look forward to like what we can do
Likewise.
together.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
yeah, if someone
Definitely.
wanted to get in touch with you or find you, how would they do that?
They could go to right now I'm building the page fabthevegan.com. You could also find me on Facebook, Fabricio Fab Zambrano. Okay. And also Instagram is Fab the Vegan 63. And on Facebook, the other page is also Fab the Vegan. So I have all those contacts and all of them have my number. So if you got a question, you can always message, text. It's the way to the future. You know.
Right, right. All of
So
them have your
it is
number.
what it is. What hey, the good thing with But now you know you can block numbers, so it's okay.
Okay.
Before once years ago when you gave your number, you had to make sure. But no, I'm free like that. You can, I'm open to anything. It is what it is. I like Henry Ford in the turn of the century when he built the when he came with the engine. He said, in a quote, he said, if I would have asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Best quote ever. So we got to learn how to evolve in time. We got to learn how to adapt. Social media is such a great avenue. Social media is like a hammer. Either you build with it or you destroy with it.
Yeah.
Be one of the builders.
Yes.
You know, spread the word. This is the new age, and that's why I say I don't mind giving my number, because anyway you're gonna find it out anyway. So it's not, I'm saving you the trouble. Yes. Yeah. So definitely that. But thank you for having me, and definitely this message was Fab the Vegan approved.
Yes. I was
Yes.
hoping. Well,
Yeah. Yes, for sure. I love it.
well, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Yes. Thank you so
Okay.
much. It was great.
All
All
right. Bye.
righty.
Bye, Fab.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
So, everyone, thank you once again for joining Virtual Vegfest Live. This week we are back on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for a cooking demo with Jill Dalton, who's the whole food plant based cooking show. If you haven't heard, she happens to be local to my community as well. Love the cooking shows, they're always a lot of fun for me because it always influences what I eat for dinner that night. And let's remember to wear our masks over the nose, under the chin. Make sure you cover your nose. Why? Because it's connected to your lungs, and there's a pandemic, and there's still a virus out there that can really make you sick or make you die. Fan of vaccines? Would like all of you to get one, because we're gonna have in-person events this year, and I want them to be safe, and I want to be around people, and I want to hug people, and have Vegfest and have that energy that we've missed for the past year. And speaking of Vegfest, Greenville Fun Fest is August 15th in Greenville, South Carolina. Asheville Vegan Fest is October 3rd in Asheville, North Carolina. And Nashville Veg Fest is October 9th in Nashville, Tennessee. Those are our 3 events. They are open to vendors if you're interested. Easily just reach out and I'll send you the details. Other than that, I will see you on Sunday. Have a great day, and remember to subscribe to Virtual Veg Fest on YouTube. Thanks. Bye.